Think of the human digestive tract as an ancient mechanical factory. It's an unyielding system designed to process inputs with absolute efficiency. Modern medicine often traps us into viewing gut issues as a complicated, linear story of illness. But your body doesn't see it that way. It operates on primal mechanics that haven't changed since the Stone Age. The factory follows a simple rule. You take in the raw material, extract the exact nutrition required, and completely discard whatever is left. The system is not designed to hoard undigested food like precious metals. If waste sits on the assembly line, the body issues a biological penalty, negative marking on your health. And when you make these mechanical errors, no outside force can step in and repair the machinery for you. Mastering this ancient machinery comes down to perfectly executing 3 non-negotiable phases: eating the material, digesting the material, and completely cleaning the factory floor. Step 1 happens before food even enters your mouth. Your sensory organs act as the literal ignition switch for the entire digestive factory. This split-screen illustration shows exactly how that ignition works. On the right, visually assessing and smelling your meal sends signals down these glowing neural pathways. This prompts the mouth to salivate and the stomach to pump gastric juices, prepping the system. On the left, distracted eating leaves the factory cold and unprepared. Once the food is inside, physical breakdown begins. Your canine teeth are designed specifically to cut and tear the mass into manageable pieces. As you chew, saliva floods in. These chemicals serve a strict dual purpose. They physically soften the food for transport, and they execute a crucial first pass of antimicrobial treatment. Methodical, that softened mass then drops down into the stomach, where it is subjected to a violent mechanical churning process. Inside this churning chamber, hydrochloric acid breaks down the material even further, turning the meal into a fully sterilized pulp. Rushing your meals or skipping these initial antimicrobial steps means the pulp arrives unprepared, guaranteeing the system will fail further down the line. From the stomach, the sterilized pulp moves into the small intestine. Think of this massive coiled area as the critical extraction zone. The sole objective here is to pull pure, usable nutrition out of the pulp and into the body. This diagram shows the extraction zone in action. Notice how the usable nutrients are safely separated from the central mass. If unextracted food is left behind in this zone to ferment, it triggers biological penalties like SIBO and leaky gut. Leaving residual pulp behind feeds the wrong microbes. As you can see, those microscopic shapes multiply, causing systemic biological errors exactly where the body is supposed to be pulling clean energy. Once extraction is complete, the remaining low-nutrition mass is pushed forward into the colon. This vector graphic maps the strict physics of the colon's first phase. It requires serious physical force, mass times weight, to push the remaining pulp on an arduous, almost 90-degree upward climb. During this climb, the colon hosts a final microbial feast. This controlled interaction generates necessary gases, catalyzes short-chain fatty acids, and absorbs the last nutrients. Total nutrient extraction and a successful upward push are mandatory. Without both, the leftovers stagnate and undergo a dangerous, toxic fermentation. Everything we've mapped out so far relies on an overarching timing engine: motility. Motility is the precise biological pace at which mass must pass through the intestines. Any timing mismatch breaks the factory. Move too slowly and you experience constipation. Move incorrectly, and the internal backup generates acidity and trapped gas. This improper motility creates an uncontrolled fermentation process. That stagnant waste acts as a staple diet, artificially multiplying harmful microbes inside your gut. Eventually, the system hits a critical failure point. The overfed microbes penetrate the protective mucus lining of the intestines, breaking through the barrier designed to keep waste separate from your biology. Maintaining exact motility is the definitive regulator. It is the only way to keep those harmful microbes isolated from your vulnerable bloodstream. The final destination for this mass is the rectum, which collects the fully processed waste to be safely passed as stool. Successfully passing that stool completes the primal requirement of the factory, entirely discarding the input after its use. We cannot hoard precious materials or unextracted food inside the gut. without paying a harsh physical price. No external medicine can fix mechanical mistakes within this system. You have to run the factory correctly from the very first bite. True digestive harmony is achieved by mastering 3 unchangeable rules: eat right, digest right, and clean out right.